portion of the code is already developed where I can just pick it up like a building block and implant it into the main architecture of the system itself.
Hey Team Bullseye, Brigadier General Mike Drowley here with our 5C7 time. I don't know if anybody's actually figured out what that means yet. Chief told me I am ineligible from entering the contest to provide an answer since I helped brainstorm it with it. But we've got another opportunity to meet one of our Bullseye Airmen, so I'm here with Captain Kyle Gapinski today and get a chance to talk to him so our team can get to know him better. So Kyle, how are you doing?
Good, sir. It's another great day in the Air Force.
Why don't we start off, what is your origin story? What brought you to the Air Force?
So my journey started back in 2002 when I entered the delayed entry program. And then I enlisted in 2003 as a backshop avionics technician. I always had an interest in aircraft and flying and engineering type of things, and the Air Force seemed like the right answer for me. Got me out of a really small town of about 2,500 people. So joining the Air Force, going down to Texas, getting to go over to Okinawa, Japan for my first tour, really kind of set the way for me to want to stay in the Air Force. So over the last 17 years, 18 years now, I've really gotten to move around and see. So over the years and seeing all of the different things that we've developed in the Air Force and all of the mission sets that we've done kind of propelled me to where I am today, and it's helped me get to where I am now.
Okay, great. What about your current duties? You're over working with Lightning. Can you talk about those?
Yes, sir. So currently right now I'm the OIC over at Lightning AMU, where we maintain 25 F-35 aircraft for the 6 WIPS weapons school. Manage about 180 airmen to get the flying hour program taken care of and meet the mission of Nellis. And it's been a huge opportunity of mine to really get back and work with airmen and lead them and kind of have them show me all of the tools of the trade that maintainers have in the Air Force. On a side project, I'm part of the Spark Cell here at Nellis Air Force Base. So I get to use some of my skills that I learned in school, in college, and try to better the Air Force and develop new pieces of software for Nellis Air Force Base.
Right, you can no kidding code, right? That's part of your repertoire?
Yes, yeah, so I'm what we always call is a classically trained programmer. I have a bachelor's and a master's in computer engineering. My primary focus has been in artificial intelligence and neuromorphic computing and just different aspects around computers altogether. So I code randomly on the side, and then I help work on programs for the Spark Cell to try to develop different software.
So 2 questions. On the Spark Cell, what's the current thing you're working on for that? And then second question, if an old person like myself wanted to learn how to code, could I do it?
First question, we're working on a TTP application over with 561st WIPS. They're modernizing the way that the TTPs are developed, so there's a application called Night,
yeah.
that we're going to bring on to the P1 platform, and we're going to host it on Platform 1. It's a new cloud-based hosting service for the Air Force. It kind of modernizes the way that we develop and deploy applications so that we as the end user don't have to worry about the ATO process. It's all managed through the pipeline that P1 provides for us. So that's a program that we're working on, and we're also working on creating basically containers or modules of code that we can pick and place in different applications. So if a user came to us and say, hey, we want to develop this WizDad tool or this scheduler or whatever have you, a portion of the code is already developed where I can just pick it up like a building block and implant it into the main architecture of the system itself. And then the second question on whether anybody can learn to code, the simple answer is yes. As long as you have a desire to learn and a desire to troubleshoot and can think a little logically. Coding is just a language. If you can learn a new language, you can learn how to code. Generally, people start small with a hello world type of application and learn the basics of programming. And the business of coding is all online. Online is built off of programs, it's built off of code, it's built off of multitudes of algorithms and networks. So the answers are at everybody's fingertips. All they have to do is search Coding 101, and someone can learn how to do it. You can purchase a what's called an Arduino or a Raspberry Pi, build your first computer, learn how to code. It's all out there in open source where it's really anybody can do it if they really want to learn. I've seen when I was in school, we had kids in school that were 40 years, 50 years old that were taking this on as a new career for them because their lives have changed and they've been successful at what they're doing.
That's great. I think that means I can code. Colonel Kennerson, though, will not be able to code just based off of his age. I do think there are also some resources that are provided by the Air Force. We can include that in the comments of different websites that are provided through the Air Force where our airmen can learn how to code, which is phenomenal if they have an interest just like yourself. What drew you to that initially, where you said this is something that I want to do, and then pick up the side project of the Spark Cell for us?
So what drove me to, well, it kind of goes back to why I became an engineer and an officer in the Air Force in the first place. As a backshop avionics technician, I was working with different programs, working with different hardware in the Air Force, and I was always questioning, is there a better way at doing this? Is there a better way of solving problems for the Air Force? And around the 2012 timeframe, I started to realize, hey, I really want to solve problems that I'm having, that other airmen are having in the Air Force, and make an impact. So I went to school, got my engineering degree, became a developmental engineer, and spent my first 3 years over in AFRL in Rome, New York, part of the information directorate. Yep. And then when I was there, I saw all of the really cool stuff that the Air Force has paid for and developed and kind of not set aside, but we've developed and moved on because technology moves really fast. But there's a huge knowledge base of technology that the Air Force already has. And I was exposed to a lot of advanced pieces of software, advanced hardware, and then coming back into the maintenance world and seeing that some of the stuff that we were developing at AFRL could solve problems at the base level. But what happens is it may get stuck somewhere, and just acquisitions, it's just the way the Air Force works sometimes. And moving over and seeing, hey, there's an actual solution for this. All it really needs is someone to say, hey, there's a solution. Let's solve it. Let's move it out together, and let's get it to the warfighter. Kind of drew me towards the Spark Cell. Drew me towards innovation was to use what I knew and help apply it here at Nellis Air Force Base. And I first met Mayo when I got here in 2019, and he told me about all the really cool programs that we were working on, and then we just moved forward from there. And then everything with COVID happening kind of drew everything down, but it helped the Air Force learn how to innovate in different ways that we normally don't do, especially when it comes to computers or how we deal with virtual desktops and things like that.
Yeah, we're extremely lucky to have you and the rest of the team working on those type of initiatives. It's a great innovative approach to get after some of our problems. Well, Kyle, I've been hitting you up with a ton of questions. You got any questions for me as the wing commander?
I guess my one question would probably revolve around innovation in and of itself. If you could give the airmen any advice, or if I could impart any information from you onto them, what would you say when it comes to innovation and challenging the status quo?
Yeah, I think the most successful approach that I've seen to innovation and where it really makes an impact is when you look at it as problem solving. So what is a problem that's out there that we can go, hey, the standard way of addressing this just isn't working, and what can we do to now help relieve that pain chain for our airmen? And then taking that to a point and go, hey, this is about as far as I can get. Now I need a little bit of extra help, whether that's some innovation funds that we can apply to it, whether we say that is no longer just a side project, it is a main project. And I think that's the way that we can take some of the airmen's ideas and actually get them put into practice. And so what I would offer to the airmen out there is find a problem and see if there's something that we can do to make it not a problem anymore and to relieve that pain chain from the team. And that's where I should hopefully be jumping in to help out and help us move it across the goal line. So. Yeah, awesome, great help. Well, Bullseye team, a great example from Kyle here on just some of the talent that we have here on the base. This is what Chief and I want to try and bring to you on a recurring basis, is introduce you to some of our airmen, show you the great work that they're doing, because we know we have an amazing team here, and it's a great opportunity to show off. So Kyle, thanks for being with me today and spend some time on our 5C7 episode here. Thanks a lot. Fights on, team.